My little Tattle Tells. I apologize. No, actually, no. This is a new year, new me. I'm done apologizing. But welcome everybody to the book tour. Y'all ready to get in here? I am a few minutes late because I was busy talking to my girlfriend B. B, this is all your fault if you're listening. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I was talking to B, but she was the only person encouraging me to get off the phone so I could come here and be on time for you guys. So if you guys want to know why I'm pseudo on time, it's because of B. Thank you, B. Hey, listen, Sunny Decent, Mr. Big Damn, Rhode Islands too. What's up, Kathy? What's up, everybody? Listen, let me just make this chat members only because y'all always be in here. Did I already make this members only? All right, we're gonna do a members only chat. There we go. And we are off to the races. Who's ready for this book review? Hey, Take a Minute TV. Hey, Kathy Smith. Y'all, if you haven't seen my recap of The Pursuit of Porsha episode 3, it is up on my channel. Let me tell y'all something. It's one of the funniest recaps we ever had. We had Prosperity Thick Thighs. We had my girl T Love. Follow her on YouTube. We had the Just D show, right? We had the Just D show, hilarious. We also had Hotmail. I forget her name. It was something like ATL and Hotmail. Girl, if you are watching this, please inbox me so I can follow you on YouTube. We bought the house down. It was so funny. It's the last hour of it. Y'all know I get into it. But even in the review was super funny. But y'all, T Love was in there windmilling people, just swinging on people. I just had to hold my little $9.99 ponytail down. And my big cousin T Love jumped in and saved the day. Hey, what's up, Inga? Hey, Kenny, what's going on? Hey, it's Quiet Storm. All right, listen, let's get into this book. Now, where we last left our heroine, right? She was upset the country John was a big meanie and was upset that she used it. He sent her into the mall to go get some sandals or some flip-flops. You know how your man pass you the credit card because you got to get something really small. He sent her in the mall to go get some sandals or flip-flops or something. And she came out with a promise ring that cost 3 months of his salary. How she knew it cost 3 months of his salary? Because she estimated in her head and bought a promise ring without asking. Country John was like, girl, you doing too much. And she's like, what? I thought you said you wanted to get married. And he was looking at her crazy, like, where they do that there? Listen, who said that she thought she saw him coming, right? Lottie want to talk about who the country bumpkins is. Porsha really thought she met a country bumpkin when she met Country John, right? So anyway, they were doing all that. She got mad again. Like I always said, even if you bought the ring and you ain't no better girl, why you buy yourself a bracelet too? So Country John and her were done after that, basically, because he didn't have the money to afford her. She ran into Cordell. Well, let's see, she dated another football player. But the only reason the football wives accepted her is because she ain't look like a regular black girl. She looked exotic, which I read that. And I was like, I wonder if that's what really, really annoys her about Fallon and the reason she delighted in having an affair behind Fallon's back, right? This is before Fallon got pregnant, right? Before she was messing with Jalen. Is that what really, really annoys Porsha? That Fallon actually is exotic. They are the same complexion. They are both black. We all know black comes in all different shades, but Fallon's exotic. You can look at her and see her Hawaiian silky hair and those cheekbones and be like, what do you mix with? Indian, but as it happens, she's mixed with Thai. How do we know that? Because Simon said they were equally yoked. Thai people and Nigerian people are equally yoked because they care about their family. Apparently, I didn't know black people didn't care about families, but whatever. We're not doing that. Let's just move on, right? So let's go. Hey, Gloria, what's going on? Hey, Elizabeth. No, listen. What are you talking about? Porsha doesn't look exotic. She said when she was around the football players' lives, because she had her baby hairs laid down and because she had a 30-inch weave-in, they thought that she was exotic and not like a regular black woman. And that made her better than regular black girls. And she said, it's very sad, but I have been told this by so many guys that I basically began to think it was true. And I said, either two things are happening. One, you're lying, or two, you're a big dum-dum to believe whatever game that a guy tells you. Women in the chat, right? And men, right? You know the games people run on you. Oh, you're not like everybody else. You different. Man, shut up. Shut up. Anyway, let's get into this mess. So anyway, this is where she's come from. She just had her dream wedding from Cordell. He bought her a $25,000 dress. The wedding cost $3 million. He took her on an $80,000 shopping spree when they got engaged. I know all this because she gave us an itemized list of what happened, right? But also, she let slip out that Cordell was engaged the whole time to his baby's mother, Brandy, right? So basically, she was seeing Cordell while he was engaged the whole time until the shit until the stuff between him and Brandy fell apart, and then he went to him. Oh, I almost forgot the most important chapter. She was R. Kelly's girlfriend in a very dysfunctional relationship. She was R. Kelly's girlfriend. I'm about to get to the new, but I just want to bring up the space. She was R. Kelly's girlfriend. And she wasn't, nothing bad happened. If anything, it was just the fact he had her waiting like a dog on the bed, right? I mean, Porsha was young. I don't know. We all do dumb stuff when we're young, right? But she was R. Kelly's girlfriend. He was in love with her. All the family knew it, and they were planning a baby. Yeah, Porsha's lived a life. Now, things with her and Cordell fall apart. I might go back to that chapter, but the reason I'm waiting on the Cordell chapter before we get into the new chapter 9 and 10 is because that girl that she keeps talking, refers to a friend, Nikki, that put her on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? And I'm doing everything I can to find out who this Nikki is, because this Nikki, if my sources are correct, actually overlaps with the Cordell and with R. Kelly. And my sources are telling me that Cordell and R. Kelly overlap, that time frame overlaps, right? So if I can find who that girl Nikki is, I think I narrowed it down to 2 people. If I can find who that girl Nikki is, I actually want to have her on my show to interview her about what was really going on during those chapters. So that's why we're skipping from chapter 5 to chapter 9, because I actually want the people that were talked about in chapters 6 and 7 and actually showed up. I actually want them there. Okay, listen, here we go. All right, now chapter 9. Y'all ready for this? Everybody set in. Let me pour myself a glass of water, right? You guys, there are 181 people in here. If you can, hit the like button, please. Y'all know I be working hard for these clicks and hard for these views. And y'all, how many times do you ever have to see a book review by a national bestseller? That's right. Porsha Williams and Simon posted that they are national award-winning best-selling authors. I'm making a video about that, but I just want to say congratulations. And I would like my congratulations too, because I encourage you guys to buy this book and the book club. But I have a video about that national bestseller stuff, like everything. Okay, so anyway, let's see. Chapter 9. She's down for the count. She's down for the count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My brother screamed to the small crowd of kids, all watching me get my A beat. I must have been only 10 years old at the time, so I had never been in a fight before, and I never wanted to be in a fight before, and here my brother was egging on the fight. Instead of sticking up for me and protecting me like I thought he would have, Hosea was screaming at the top of his lungs, being the damn referee. The street lights were about to come on in our neighborhood, and we were all about to scatter home, but this girl, whose name I can't remember, probably for my sanity, claimed I hit her. Hold on, let's get into this, right? We were all in the middle of a basketball game, and although I knew it was a non-contact sport, sometimes you had to throw your weight around on the court. But now this girl was taking things too far. Typical Porsha facting. Even at 10 years old, she's starting with the bullshit. Now, again, she's telling this as an adult. Girl, you were playing basketball. You threw some bows. You hit somebody. They got mad, and now you're surprised that they are going to fight you. First of all, it's girls basketball, right? Stop acting like you were playing hockey. And second of all, you know the rules of playing basketball. If you are going to be throwing bows and being extra aggressive, that's why most of the fights break out on the basketball court. I think anyone that's actually grown up in America and played basketball, even in gym, knows if you start being aggressive on the court and you foul somebody, we're not talking about like NBA, but if you really hurt somebody, they are going to come and want to take your head off. That's how most basketball games ended up where I was from, right? So anyway, she said, listen, but now this girl was taking things too far. Let me go. Let me go. I screamed with my eyes closed tight, trying to swing my arms as hard as I could to get this girl off of me. I swung and missed. I swung another time and I landed on something, but my little fish slipped off so quickly as it landed. It didn't make enough impact to slow her down. Why are you acting like this is a scene out of Friday when Craig was trying to fight Debo? Why are you acting like that? You guys were both 10 years old. What do you mean your little fist just slid off? How big was this girl? She was 10-year-old too. Unless what? I hope Porsha tries to say that she was the neighborhood national Sprite. What is it? Remember when Sprite, do they still do it? I remember a few years ago, Sprite was having like the street ball competitions, right? So I dare her to say that she was the national street ball champion at 10 years old of her thing. What do you mean your little fish slid off? The little fish slid off another 10-year-old? Girl, just dramatic, right? I opened my eyes to see her focused on me. As she ran toward me, I braced for impact and felt my body collapse to the ground. But I'm confused. You just said that you were swinging and your little fist connected and you were screaming, get off me, get off me. So let's just do this thing because we just got to fact check because this happened a lot in the book. The girls, you're trying to swing to get the girl off of her. You swung and missed. You tried to do it. Your little fish, little tiny 10-year-old fist, right? Couldn't actually get off of you. Okay, but now all of a sudden, right? Yay, Ariel Wilkinson. Welcome to the Tattle Tells, Mama. We got a new Tattle Tells. Oh, and also welcome Ropa Chat to the Tattle Tells. Ariane Wilkinson and Ropa Cat. I like that instead of Doja Cat. Ropa Cat. Welcome, Ropa Cat. And welcome. Welcome. Ariana. I'm sorry. Why do I keep saying Ariana? Y'all know I'm dyslexic. Ariel Wilkerson. I'm sorry, Ariel. Oh, Ariel, like the little mermaid. Okay, welcome, Ariel, my little mermaid. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing. Sorry, guys. You know, every time I hear the Little Mermaid, I got to get into the part of my world. Okay, that and Ancestors Be My Key for Milan. Those are my jams. Anyway. All right, so listen. Oh, thank you, Sandra. It's a $9.99 clip and ponytail. I think it's either Janet or Otrey. Thank you. You know, if there's a $9.99 ponytail, I'm not gonna let that go. My life is moved around them. Listen. Okay, so here we go. Right here we go. Oh, speaking of which, right? I opened my eyes to see her focus on me, but I thought you said she had her in the traps. I guess fights move quick, right? She's retelling. This is a past tense recollection, right? She had my ponytail. My hair was really long back then. Girl, it don't matter if your hair was 3 inches. Somebody get in your ponytail, whether it's a Proud Family ponytail or whether that shit is Hawaiian silky down to your butt, they got your ponytail, right? Inside her clenched fist, my face burned, but everywhere else in my fat body felt numb. Yes, Porsha, that's called being in your first fight. Congratulations. But I don't want to make light of that because that actually anyone in their first fight, it's super, super traumatic. Now, is it traumatic if they're the one that actually started it by physically hitting somebody? I don't know. So anyway, no, the girl screamed back, refusing to let my slight of hitting her slide. Notice how Porsha always had, she refused to let her slight of Porsha hitting her side. So Porsha was playing basketball and she hit someone. And the girl decided to hit, like really drag her, right? And Portia's surprised that she's not letting the slight pass. It's on brand. Anyway, although I honestly don't even think I hit her at all. And if I did, it was definitely by accident. Because we all know, if there's one thing, listen, Porsha knows how to seduce somebody's 6-year-old husband. She knows how to twerk. Like Kenya said, she can tell you how to lay a lace front wig. However, the one thing she won't do is take accountability. She said, I don't think I hit her. And if I did, it was definitely by accident. Girl, shut up. People don't hit somebody by accident and then jump into them and drag them across the street. She might be literally making this book for people that live in Kazakhstan, but I know that nobody drags you for slightly hitting them. Or maybe this girl's crazy, right? The next thing I knew, I felt my entire body weight. Felt her entire body weight sit on top of me while I lay on the ground. My chest felt like it was about to give up and give out. Okay, that much I believe. If you've ever had somebody sit on you, whether you're joking or whether they're serious, it really does feel like you can't breathe. That's scary. Ooh, hold on. Oh, I think she's down. She's out. It's a TKO. My brother narrated from the growing crowd, who were ducking down and around to see him in the final moments of the match. Thank God cell phones weren't really a thing back then, because if this later trended on social media, I mean, I honestly, I would have no words. Again, was this fight this dramatic? Because Portia says that she has a super close relationship with her brother. And she said her brother and her would get locked in rooms by her dad, which somebody said sounded like timeout, but maybe it was traumatic. But now you're talking about your brother was sitting there making jokes, and all the school kids were running and seeing it. And because she's so close to her brother, it just honestly makes me think, was this fight that serious? Again, this is somebody's trauma. I don't question someone's trauma, but was it that serious that you're making it out to be? And the fact that your brother still thought it was cool? But let's keep going, right? As the streetlights flicker on, quietly sounding the alarm for all of us to head back home. She loves, hey, Rem, thank you, Rem. I appreciate that. Portia loves writing her own fan fiction. She just loves it, loves it, loves it. Okay, let's skip by the boring part. Well, not boring, but let's skip by the parts that you guys have already read. As we walked through the door, oh, Portia said, I stood up, wiped myself off, and hurried off home. I couldn't wait to tell my brother and tell my mom what he let happen to me. As we walked through the door, my mother took one look at me and wanted an explanation. With my body still throbbing and my mind not moving fast enough, my brother answered for me. She got beat up down the street. I don't know why I feel like that actually happened. And now I'm not laughing at her being beat up. I'm laughing at the way brothers would just say that, right? You got no. What's Portia's mom? She always like sunshine, right? You got beat up. My mom said with concern. I told my mom the truth, that Hosea stood by and watched as some girl beat my A. Portia, was that really the truth? Because your mom started it. I got ready to watch my mom get my brother together for not protecting his baby sister. But instead, she had the nerve to say, how you gonna let that girl beat you up? You should have beat her ass. I was stopped in my tracks. That's how you know whoever ghost wrote this book is not American. But also, I see a lot of I was stopped in my tracks. No, it's I stopped in my tracks. Anyway, I was stopped in my tracks. It was bad enough I had to take a beating, but now it felt like I was getting another beating all over again, and from my own mama. But even though my face looked shocked, she didn't stop there. You don't The mom said, you don't stay out from dawn, you don't stay from down there if you're gonna get beat up. Don't be walking around getting beat up by anybody. And my mama was right. It didn't matter if my brother or it didn't matter if my brother or my friends from around the way were there. At the end of the day, I needed to stand up for myself and protect myself. Clearly, nobody else was going to do it for me, and I needed to learn how to do it myself. Although I got my ASS beat that way, I also learned an invaluable lesson I take with me throughout my entire life. If I was ever in a fight, I ain't going to be the one getting beat up. Now, the fact that Portia is trying to write this like she is starring as Fightful from the American Tell. If you guys don't know the story of Fightful and the American Tell, you need to get into it. It is a riveting, heart-wrenching story of a mouse from Eastern Europe origin, and he gets separated from his family at Ellis Island, and he sings up at the moon until he finds his parents. It is one of the most heart-wrenching songs you will ever hear. I believe it is Somewhere Out There. Somewhere out there beneath the pale moonlight. That's the way Fievel sings it. It will have you in tears, right? Don't listen to that song if you're going through a breakup or anything hard in your life. It'll really have you in your feelings, or do, because some people like that. Anyway, she said, now listen, this is right. Listen, she literally said, this is the reason, right? This is the reason that turned her into a cold-blooded killer. Mama, you know what they say, you know what? Every single time Portia goes and she starts throwing those bows, somebody need to be like, Mama, don't send your daughters or sons out on that field with that trained killer. That was Portia's origin story. That's when she decided, if you buck, Peach Juice Williams was born. But in typical fashion, it was born because she actually threw bows at someone, and the little girl let her know. Now, mind you, she ain't get a busted lip. She ain't get anything. All she got was a little scuffed up, and she got humiliated. Okay. But somebody's trauma, somebody's trauma. Let's see how this trauma manifests. Let's see how we go into Porsha. We're getting into Kenya and her beef with Kenya. Let's see how she let that manifest, and how she dealt with Kenya and how we made that analogy, right? Okay, listen. Before Bravo asked me to return to the second season, I could have sworn my first reunion of Real Housewives was going to be my last one. So I honestly just wanted to get the day over with. I didn't have a husband anymore. Why would they keep me? It was a crisp morning that day in late March when the car picked me up from my house, headed for the Atlanta Biltmore Hotel, where I filmed the reunion for 12 hours straight. Hey, oh my God, Beauty Museum, thank you. Beauty Museum said, T said, just here to say your hard work is appreciated. Love you, girl, and hope all goes well with your family. If you need anything, oh, thank you so much, Beauty Museum. Let me actually follow you on Instagram. Y'all got to pause for 1 second. Let me follow Beauty Museum on Instagram, and then we're going to get back. Also, why I'm following Beauty Museum on Instagram, what I need y'all to do, right? What you send me, Lily? What I need y'all to do is sign up for my membership. It's only $4.99, and then you can chat, right? Where's Beauty Museum? Style LBLE. You guys, let's see. Let me search for you. Sorry, guys, we're about to get back to this chat in 1 second. I just want to follow Beauty Museum. And if I don't do it now, you know my ADHD is going to make sure that I just completely forget about it. A lot of times y'all be thinking that I'm just blowing people off, and honestly, I just forget about the last thing that I did. And if I don't do it, it's never going to get done. Okay, so hold on. Where are you? Style BL. Wait, style. Hold on, my dyslexia is coming out. STYLE, style BL. Okay. BLE. Okay. There we go. I got you, my Royal Highness. Okay. I just requested you. Okay, babes. Thank you so much, Beauty Museum. Okay, listen. Okay, Latoya, you understand. Y'all know me. If I don't do it right then and there, I just be like, I'm sorry, what was that? People be like, girl, you were supposed to plan my wedding, my 3 weddings at a funeral. And I'm like, oh, was I? Shoot. Maybe we get some flowers from the dollar store. All right, let's get into this, right? Now, she said, it was a crisp morning, and Porsha is now, she had just, where we last left our heroine, we got her origin story of where Neck If You Buck Porsha Williams was born. She decided, because her mom said, don't get your ASS beat. She decided she's never going. Now, oddly enough, this origin story sounds a lot like Monique's story of the exact story she said about why she dragged Candace. Now, we're not going to get into whether Monique was wrong or whether she was justified or not. All I'm going to say is Porsha is saying the same story. And here's the thing, Monique could be telling the truth, but Porsha, this story doesn't sound organic. But let's move on, right? So now she's at the reunion. It was the thing. I didn't have a husband anymore. Why would they keep me? It was a crisp morning in late March when the car picked me up from my house, headed for the Atlanta Biltmore Hotel, where I filmed the reunion for 12 hours straight. I showed up empty. I literally had nothing to give. I was going through a divorce. I was depressed. I was barely eating, barely sleeping. I'd lost so much weight. When I filmed, I was only 145 pounds. I was so skinny. Now, I believe this. Porsha's divorce with Cordell was traumatic. At that time, no matter what you say about Cordell, Porsha did not want to get divorced at all. And I believe the way he divorced her was actually really publicly humiliating. So, okay, fine, Porsha. You were going through this, right? Speak of the devil. By the time the season had ended, Cordell had stopped filming, and I would have to sneak the camera crew into my house to film confessionals. He'd leave or go to the Coles course, and I'll call and say, okay, y'all can come on now. It was a whole mess. So trying to convince Cordell to show up at the reunion was a lost cause. I tried to convince him anyway, only for him to tell me, I'm not going. You can have that show. All season long, I had to deal with the ladies questioning my marriage, questioning my desire to be submissive, and questioning just about everything about Cordell. It felt like I was walking into a battleground without armor. I had to deal with Cordell once again not being a man of his word and supporting me. Porsha, if I remember her first season, she locked horns with Kenya and told her that she would never understand the convictions of the life and was dragging people, right? Was dragging people for not being married, right? She was dragging people for not being married. And now, after you done dragged everybody for not being married and being a 40-year-old HOE from the 90s and all this stuff, now you're sitting on the couch and you're the one that's divorcing and you're about to be your worst nightmare, a single woman. I can see how you were stressed out because people are about to dig into that ASS because look what you've been doing. But also, I just want to also point out too, I believe that Porsha was stressed out. I believe she did this. For her to say she was skinny, Porsha started that show a size 4 and she ended that show a size 4. What is she talking about? You started that show 145 pounds and you ended that show 145 pounds. Anyway, let's go, right? How tall is Porsha? Anyway, that's a thing for another thing, right? Okay. I thought that filming the reunion, the one time during the entire season, and all the ladies sat down with executive producer and whatever, Andy Cohen. I'm not skipping over Andy's name. I'm saying it's funny how Porsha is acting like whoever is reading the show don't know her from Real Housewives. You're explaining who Andy Cohen is. Executive producer and host Andy Cohen to talk about everything that happened. I thought it was going to be fun. Now, before I joined the show, she's saying, I imagined it'd be serving looks while serving shade on the couch, getting everybody together for the shade they threw during confessionals. But in reality, I was terrified. Okay. This was before cast members could coordinate a color to wear the reunion couches. So I picked a floor-length black gown for what I thought was going to be my last ever filming of The Real Housewives. Every Housewives show has a unique relationship with Andy. She goes on to say, right? But because I got thrown into filming without much support or playbook on how to film reality TV, I made many mistakes. I really had to learn the hard way. All right, so she said, when I first joined in season 5, I didn't realize that producers on the ground were steadily listening to you, learning about little things happening in your life, and trying to decide if that tidbit fit the show's narrative or the story that's trying to craft you for that season. I didn't realize it was part of their job description. Porsha, you had a team working with you. You even had, what's that one girl that worked with Porsha and ended up going to Candy's camp? She's really pretty. Janelle or Jen. What's that one girl? Her name that was like on Porsha's team and she helped Porsha plan a lot of stuff. Porsha ended up actually putting her hands on her. What's that girl's name? Anyway, we'll talk about that in a second, right? I think her name's Jamie. Thank you. Make it make sense. Her name is Jamie. Yeah. Jamie, she had a team behind her. She had people working with her. I think Jamie was the one, from what all the stylists and ATL were telling me, Jamie was the one that had Porsha looking right and got her together. She's the one that did all this stuff. So, I wonder if Jamie is Nikki. I wonder if Jamie's Nikki. Because I'm just thinking about what the stylists and ATL were telling me. I wonder if Jamie is Nikki. Tattle Tells, remind me. Let me make a note of that so I don't forget. Is Jamie Nikki? In the book, she talks about this girl, Nikki, that did all this stuff for her. Okay. I just made him know. Yes. Thank you, Fancy Lifestyle. I appreciate it. Yes, Jamie. Ooh, it'd be now. We should see if we can get Jamie on the show. Now that's who really knows her dirt, right? Anyway, okay, she goes on to say, right, that even though after spending hours, days, weeks, and months with producers, you became friendly with them. Look at my co-star Candy Burrs. Now listen to the shade she throws at Candy. You listening? She even married one of our producers. So you definitely get close. So if you're a newbie, you might make mistakes on set for our friends. And you might mistake them for our friends and they're not. So now you're running your mouth about things you honestly didn't intend to let millions of people know. And they forced you to put it on the show. Now I know better. We damned her deal, right? Now I know not to share any more than I want to show. If that's true, then can you explain the season of Pursuit of Portia? If you know better than not to show anything, can you explain the season of Pursuit of Portia? I really want to know, right? I also got really used to having uncomfortable conversations on camera. If cameras were following my life, I'd have a disagreement with a friend and maybe avoid it until I cooled down, or may just avoid it forever. I swept it under the rug. Well, in reality TV, you have to face everything. If you go to lunch and one of your friends repeated, she's literally saying it makes you face conflict and deal with issues you wouldn't deal with normally. It definitely makes it more difficult to form long-lasting friendships because you're dealing with conflict. So then she goes on to say that many of the girls were picking on her. She didn't know how to deal with conflict. Right? So I let everybody have it at the reunion, right? I had enough of being poked and prodded at the choices I made in my life and my marriage. Just as I suspected, Cordell was targeted for not being a supportive husband or for being controlling. Girl, you mean Cordell was actually targeting you for telling the truth of what was happening? Now, you just said Cordell was controlling. You just said that he was not supportive. And now you're saying that. So you're trying to tell us in a reality show, you had an attitude because they wanted you to show reality. You wouldn't show reality. Okay. Right? She said, while he might have been all those things and even more behind closed doors, on that couch, I still protected him. I protected us. I protected our family. Remember what I told you about cancers? If you want to make them stick to you like glue, make a triangulation, make it seem like it's you and them against the world, and the world don't want them to be together. That's how you keep a cancer, right? And let me tell you something, an evolved cancer. Don't all you evolved cancers, don't come in my comments being like, well, I'm a cancer and I'm not like that. I know, girl, you grew up, you got some sense. Maybe you were born with sense. We're not talking about you. However, this is actually really interesting when you look at what's happening with Porsha family's values, right? This is what looks at when you look at what's happening with Porsha family values. She's looking at her bag, Simon, as her family. And you see how everybody was saying the truth about Cordell, according to her, saying he wasn't supportive, saying he was this, saying he was controlling. She was saying the truth about all that stuff, right? You were saying the truth about all that stuff. And then, right? Um, hey, wait a second. Who said that? Somebody just told me, hold on. New member alert, Empress Carter. Oh, and make it make sense. Thank you. Empress Carter and Make It Make Sense. Y'all go ahead and follow Make It Make Sense on YouTube if you haven't. Also, Justice Show, Judgy Justice, and also T Love Palmer. They are some new up and coming YouTubers. I think you were well to Make It Make Sense ain't up and coming, but he's new. He's so professional. He makes it seem like he's been here for a while. But yeah. Okay, so listen. Holy Spirit. Oh, Make It Make Sense. You vote for a Jamie interview? Kathy, I saw your comment. You said that Phelan could maybe make sense, could maybe get Fallon to come on. I'm not Fallon. Here we go. Kathy said that Phelan can arrange for Jamie to come to the channel. Really? Fallon knows Jamie? Does she really? Oh, okay. Listen. Also, Ashley Powell, I see your comment. Did Porsha say in her book that Cordell was supportive? Porsha did say that Cordell was the most supportive person in the world. However, in the chapters I skipped over, Porsha did say that Cordell felt like Porsha was using him and was letting her family use him. And he became really, really like, why is your family always here? Porsha said that, you know, it was because he was controlling and wanting herself. But if you read the chapter, it sounds like Porsha was just letting her family do whatever she wanted in the house. And at the end of the day, that is Cordell and her house. You got to respect both people. But yo, thank you so much, Kathy Smith. I'm going to reach out to Fallon if she hasn't blocked me. I'm going to reach out to Fallon to see if she can hook me up for Jamie to actually come to the store. But again, back to what I was saying. The way she said that everything that people were saying about Cordell was true, but she protected him. She protected the family. She protected us. That's the same thing that's going on with Simon. Everybody's saying Simon's a scammer. Everybody's saying Simon's a car artist with those car tags that are from Florida and all the stuff he's doing with businesses. We're going to have something about that, right? But Everybody's saying this. Everybody's saying he's a cheater. Everybody's saying he ain't no good, from the mailman to everywhere else, right? Now, and Porsha is defending it because her ego is wrapped up in him, but also she thinks she has a bag. Right now, she's figured out ain't nothing there, but she's thinking maybe if I hang around, I can get a little bit more. Now, I do want to say it's interesting. So it's funny that listen to what she says next. She says, I let it all out. I preached a 4-minute sermon saying I was still a wife trying to figure it out. I'm not perfect. Cordell is not perfect by far, but he's my husband. I sat on that couch. I was real. I was authentic, and I wasn't going to shut up and be dismissed. And then in true churchy fashion, I finished it off with an addition of Amazing Grace. I feel like she practiced that, but it lets you know that even when people are saying the true things, she's going to fake and she's going to front. That's why she went off from being the convictions of the wife to Cordell to throwing it in a circle, literally in her husband's face in a club. Now, I don't know what our goals are in life, and don't get me wrong, you might catch me in the south of France every now and then, turning up and okay, I can't twerk, but trying to throw it in the circle, right? You might find me in the south of France doing that, or in the streets of New York, right? Depending on what the weather is and what the season, with my man. But to literally be bragging about your relationship when you are 40 years old and yet fiance is 60 years old, and all you guys can think to do to show aspirational lifestyle, and when I aspirational, I mean like a true love story. I watch couples YouTube is throwing it in a circle in a dirty club while the bottle girls look on uninterested. And that's when, who told me that? I think it was Thick Thighs Prosperity, literally was like, they ain't getting it in, because honestly, who throws it in a circle in their man's face? Like, just stop. Listen. Now here's the thing. Real Abiola, you want to know how long she was married to Cordell? Remember, she got no. She had been, right? She was married to Cordell before she got on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's another thing with this book. Porsha keeps letting time overlap, because the real gag is, if you really pull out the calendar, and this is for all y'all that want to be in Fallon's uterus, if you really want to pull out the calendar, the real question is, did dating Cordell and being R. Kelly's girlfriend overlap? There's a reason why Porsha is being very, very, very fluid with her timelines. But did the dating Cordell and did the dating R. Kelly actually overlap? And don't forget, when she was dating Cordell, she was actually dating Brandy's fiance. Keep that in mind too. Her fiance was her boyfriend. Do you see what I'm saying? Just like Andrea Kelly's husband was Porsha's boyfriend. Just like for a long time, Fallon Gabodia's husband was her boyfriend until she turned into Fallon Pina. And now it's Porsha's fiance. This might be the longest Porsha's ever dated somebody when they weren't attached to someone. I'm just saying, let's do the math and see what it is. Y'all tell me what y'all think, all right? Now, here we go, right? Okay, here we go. So anyway, so she's doing this, that. She finished it off with Amazing Grace. She protected the facade of the relationship. And I think that's what she's doing right now with Simon. And here's the thing. Listen, y'all got me twisted. I really like The Pursuit of Porsha. Her book has given me hours of enjoyment. And I am waiting and I am hoping to God that wedding happens. I am praying that wedding happens. I know Porsha thinks she's making everybody sick by getting married. I'm enjoying watching them eat their egg beaters and Oscar Mayer turkey bacon. I'm enjoying these wedding diets, even though I wonder if Portia's going to put Simon on her book tour diet, because she got that man eating the protein diet, and you could just tell because the way he's not. Because that's the thing, when you really do the protein diet, you really drop weight super, super quickly, right? Anyone that's doing the protein diet knows what I'm talking about. However, when you cheat on the protein diet, the weight comes off super, super slow. You know he's cheating. Don't tell me you've been eating Oscar Mayer turkey bacon and egg beaters for a week and you still fitting into the same size. Boy, shut up. You talking to a diet master. Shut up. So anyway, I love the journey of eating egg beaters, egg whites, with some Mrs. Dash seasoning. I love the journey. I can't wait till they get married. Now I'm going to do a video about the marriage because we have some more details. But you guys, keep an eye on the Four Seasons in the Bahamas, in the Versailles Gardens, right? In the Versailles Gardens, and see if that wedding don't happen there, right? Listen. Okay, so anyway, let's see. Okay, so here we go. She said, I was authentic and transparent that day, and that's what made Andy say, keep Porsha's entire 4-minute speech in the reunion. Let's have her back for the show for another season. Girl, the mental gymnastics that you just told us that everything people were saying about Cordell was true, but you put on a front and said that's your husband and you're going to stick beside him, even though you guys knew that you guys were divorcing. And you're trying to say you were complete and true and authentic. You just told us that you guys were divorcing. And you're talking about the convictions of a wife and a 4-hour monologue, a one-woman show, a soliloquy, if you will. Girl, I can't. Anyway, my first reunion taping was about finding myself. My second reunion taping was about losing myself. By the time I sat on a very different couch during our season 6 reunion, I had been accused of cheating on Cordell, which my sources are telling me she did. And it did not sit well with me at all, because the number one thing I prided myself on during our very volatile marriage was that I never cheated on him, never thought about another man, never looked at another man. Let me tell y'all something. Porsha must be writing this for the dum-dums in the back or for 3-year-olds. This was a volatile relationship. By your own account, this man treated you like shit. By your own account. Now, listen, my source is telling me that she is grossly over-exaggerating and she played a bigger role in the divorce. That's nothing. It's water under the bridge. Are there really any innocent party in divorce? No, everybody plays a role. Unless the person's horribly abusive and then no, they're the guilty person. I think that's what Porsha's trying to go. She wants some moral authority. But you keep telling us that this man was so horrible to you. He was a monster. He was a demon. He was all this stuff. And you never cheated on him. All right, Porsha, maybe. My sources are saying that's not true, but maybe. I never thought about another man. Girl, now you're losing me. Nobody said you had to act on it, but you trying to tell us why you were in a marriage, that this person cheated you bad and started cheating on you, and you begged and cried to stay in that marriage, right? You never thought about another man. You never thought about leaving him. You never let another man enter into your mind. Forget about acting on it. But you were in a messed up relationship and you never, and then she said, and you never looked at another man. Why, this man was cheating on you, and this is according to Porsha. We know we got a fact check, but this man was cheating on you, treating you bad, isolating you from your friends, family, this and that. And you never even looked at another man, even when you were in Publix or Kroger. Girl, shit, this is what I mean about Porsha's lies. They just go too far. It's cool. You ain't got to let it kick it. Okay, maybe you didn't cheat on a man, but you're in a miserable relationship and you don't even fantasize about getting out. You don't even think about what your exes are doing, the ones that treated you right. You have no, girl, shut up. Shut up. Anyway, in my marriage, I really tried to be the biblical wife. I really tried to model my life the way the Bible said a wife needed to be. Even when Cordell and I were having hard times, and we had many hard times, I would pray for him. Even when I couldn't stand him, pray for him to drop dead, right? Even when I couldn't stand him, I would hold on to the promise I made to him and to God at that altar. If you ain't got a lie to kick it was a person. Anyway, in my mind, we didn't have a marriage. We had a covenant with God. So I thought it was my duty and purpose to be a good wife and to use that to please God. I was completely tied to my spirituality. It was my way of praising God and thanking him for giving me the gift of a husband. Everybody prayer warriors, put your hands up, right? And for giving me the gift of a husband and a protector after so many years of disappointment. Oof. When it came to my marriage, barely anyone knew what we were actually going through. Well, apparently everybody on the Housewives of Atlanta couch knew in season 5. That's why they were attacking you. And apparently, low-key, Cordell was going around all over Atlanta talking trash about the things you were doing. Even Peter Thompson said that Cordell had been complaining about you. So what you mean barely anybody knew what y'all had been going through, right? I knew there were certain parts of my marriage that I covered up. You, Missy, and this is an issue with Porsha and her dissonance, right? She is literally season one of Westworld. I would say she's Dolores, but she ain't that deep. She is season one of Westworld with the disassociation, with the dissonance, right? How? Are you saying you were covering up when Cordell was trashing you, right? I don't know if what he was saying was true, but he was trashing you, even to Peter Thomas, right? Everybody in Atlanta knew your business. You lied on the couch of the Real Housewives of Reunion, and now you thought you were covering up for your marriage when everybody and your mama knew what was going on. Again, I think it's a dissonance, but I also think that Porsha, when she makes up these lies, she's not making them up for the people that know them, because that's a small stage. She's making these lies up for, because that's one thing I can say. One thing I think why Porsha is so successful, she understands social media just like the Kardashians understand social media. It doesn't matter if everybody in your town thinks you're a liar. When you're a media figure, if you can with internet broadcast to the world and have everybody believe your truth, then it doesn't matter if everybody in your town thinks you're a liar and is laughing at you and thinks you're a home wrecking, all these all things, right? All that matters is people on the internet will be like, yes, yes, throw that in a circle. Yes, girl, let them know. And this is no disrespect for anybody's in the club throwing it in a circle for their man, because when there's enough Caprianas around, or Caprianas around, and whatever other violet flavored drinks are around, you might catch me throwing it in a circle, although off key, because no, that God bless me with a lot of things, but being a twerk master is not one of them. But you know what my mommy says, can't be perfect. So anyway, here we go, right? Mm. Listen. So I said, listen. Oh, so during my entire first season of Housewives, I put my mask on and tried to pretend we were perfect, and we just weren't. But the one thing that was real, true and real was my loyalty and my faith. Girl, not one of these things were true. Not one of the things you said was true. Nothing, nothing, nothing. But she is a master, right? She is ha ha ha, very funny. But she is a master, right? She is a master, right? Of words manipulation and understanding how the social media go. Who cares if everybody in the town knows you're a liar? If people in Timbuktu believe you walk on water is good, right? Now listen, you're surprised Block wasn't in the book. Maybe he was. We're gonna have to see when we do the other chapters, right? Well, there is a Mr. Big who, oddly enough, I think it's a guy that Porsha was actually seeing for 7 to 9 years, that she's still texting, but the guy hardly ever gets back to her. I think that it is one of those. I think that's like what's going on. But um, she also makes it sound a little bit like Black. So I think she's just using creativity, right? But I'm gonna read that for you. I'll see what y'all think. She said, "I came out of character at that reunion, and it regretfully taught me to never give my power to a bully again." Just like that girl that Porsha said bullied her when she was 10 years old, because Porsha punched her and the girl actually dragged her because Porsha thought that she could bully that girl. It's the same way, and now that girl's a bully. It's the same way now. Porsha, you started a fight with Kenya, and now Kenya's the bully. Where they do that there? I guess they do that in Portiaville. Literally. I guess they do that in Portiaville. Y'all, listen. Oh, listen. Also, y'all, there's 710 people in this book club. Y'all see, I got my water, I got my book, and I got my white chocolate. Y'all, this is a savoir passion and pimento. Y'all see, I'm all ready for the book club, and I'm in here working and hustling, and y'all don't want to hit the like button. Y'all ain't seeing heaven. And I said this last time, the people don't see heaven. I hope that when you stand in those pearly gates, and you're like, what's up, Peter? What's up, Gabriel? And you think you're going to crip walk into that thing. I hope they stop you. Press play on this moment when I was asking y'all to hit the like button, and y'all said no. Y'all ain't seeing heaven. And I hope not hitting this like button is a reason. All right. So anyway, let's see what else is going on, right? Although I'll always regret what happened and how she triggered me to step all the way out of my character. Again, the lack of accountability. It's not she triggers you. It's I was triggered. Somebody cannot trigger you if they do not know your triggers. You can say she triggered me when you're talking to yourself, but when you're an adult, you realize I was triggered. I was triggered. You saying ah, da, 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 you saying in a boy, I always regret the way she triggered me. You had control over the situation. The word is, I always regret the way I was triggered, right? To step all the way out of my character, and it also revealed to me the power of authenticity. Now it's funny she's saying that when that was the first time that we saw Porsha get nuck if you buck Peach Juice Williams. But you also tried to fight Shamia. You fought the girl Jamie. You fought tried to fight Cynthia. And you also tried to fight a bunch of other people that weren't even captured on camera and was not a part of the show. So what is she talking about? It taught you how the revealed the power of authenticity. Portia just be saying shit. And it really makes one thing I can realize, and this isn't about because Portia to me is an archetype. I know she's a person, but she's also an archetype. And I actually think there is something about people that I realized that if you smile in their faces, you can be cursing at them and they'll be like, yeah, they're my friend. Even though it's like, but did you realize what they just said to you? They actually just really insulted you. They actually just played you. But people don't see that. Again, Portia knows the social media game. And the funny thing is, the people that are actually very authentic in real life, the people that are actually really good people, the people that actually are like people that you want to be friends with, right? And I know nobody's an saint, nobody's an angel, but people that you're just like, yo, you're cool. I want to be a friend. I trust you. You seem trustworthy. They're the ones that usually don't do that well on the social media game because they're caring about what the people next to them feel and how they treat those people. And people that win in social media, I'm not saying it's always, but a lot of times they're playing the room, they're playing to the room, not to the people that matter. It's the same way somebody can be beloved by the church, but be a horrible husband to their wife. Do you see what I'm saying? Beloved by the community, but be a horrible mother to their children. That's the game that she's playing. Listen. She said, I paid a price for that decision at the reunion. I was served with an arrest warrant. I don't remember that. Hey, baby. My boyfriend just got home from work, so we're gonna have to wrap this up. But I'm joking. Let's keep this. We'll do this a little bit more, and then I gotta go. All right. So listen. She said, "I paid a price for that decision at the reunion. I was served with an arrest warrant. I did not know that. Charged with a misdemeanor battery, and even had to take a mugshot. The most fabulous mugshot you've ever seen. Thank you very much." Actually, Portia, you wrong on that one too, because the most fabulous mugshot I ever saw was Prison Bay. Y'all want me to pull that up? Let's see. He even got a modeling contract off of that. Hold on. There's also this one girl that actually had a good mugshot too. Hold on. Now he had a mugshot. It looked like something out of Jeremy Meeks at a Calvin Klein ad. Now look at this, right? Listen, and also I want to point out too, Portia was on probation for a couple of years from that. I'm surprised Bravo didn't fire her right there. But remember, Andy said in All Diamonds Aren't Rosé, if you haven't seen that book club, go ahead and watch it. Andy actually said that she was really appalled by what happened in Kenya. But then all the ladies of the Real Housewives pulled together and said that's just how Black women do. And now Andy thinks that's how every Black person does. Okay, listen, I don't know if Andy was actually telling the whole, like, maybe the book's editors edit some stuff out, but it just sounded real sus to me, right? It sounded like Andy actually likes Porsha. He's a close relationship with Porsha, and he wanted to cut his friend some slack, right? But Porsha was on probation for that for a few years and was still in the streets trying to fight. So you know what to do. But again, Porsha ain't talking to this room. She's talking to Dum Dum. So let's get back to the best mug shots. Look at these mug shots. Listen. So this is Jeremy Meeks right here. This woman she's an Arkansas woman. She looked damn good on her mugshot too. Actually, everybody looks nice on their mugshots. Look at this. Oh, and they all became models. So this Jeremy Meeks, he became a model. He actually, now that's the story. Listen, Jeremy Meeks is who Simon Gabodia wishes he could be. Unfortunately for Simon, he don't look like Jeremy Meeks. Let me tell you what happened with Jeremy Meeks. Jeremy Meeks, because of this thing, right? He got a modeling contract. Because of this modeling contract, he got to walk on the the runways of Paris Fashion Week because everybody was enamored in his story, right? And also, I mean, he's tall enough, he looks like a model, bet, right? He literally met he was married, Jeremy Meeks, right? He met the owner of Topshop. The owner of Topshop, they shut them all in America, is a billionaire. He met his daughter. His daughter used to date Erica Badu's baby's daddy. So she likes ghetto messes, right? His daughter saw Prison Bay and lost her mind. She actually married that man. That man went from being in a Sacramento or Kern County prison to being on yachts with a billionaire wife. I don't know if they had a kid. They are divorced now, but he's getting alimony from that. Yo, that's how you do it. That's what Simon Godia wishes he could do, but he's not. He's not a Jeremy Meeks, let us say. There's also this guy, Meki Alante Lucky, right? Look at him. This is his mugshot, and this is when he was actually modeling. He actually did that too. Simon is not a Meki either. He is not a Meki either. Yo, and this was Jeremy Meeks after he got out of uh, jail, right? Chilling with Paris Hilton, new model. There he is with Nicki Minaj, and also I believe it is Philip Plein. He is doing the damn thing. He is doing the damn thing. Anyway, yeah. Listen. Oh, it's Chloe Green. Anyway, he tried to get back with her, but yeah, listen, listen. Oh, Ashley. Ashley had a question, right? Listen, well, pretty privileged, but honestly, he looked good as a model too. I mean, let's not act. Ashley, you said remember season 13 of Real Housewives of Atlanta at Top Party? Because Porsha was bucking up and Porsha didn't want that to air. That is true. That is true. That is true. You guys, Janae, thank you for the super chat. You said I can't stand watching Porsha's new show. Counting you for the scoop. You know I'm coming with the recap. But Ashley, just to answer your questions, right? Let me find this. I can put it on screen. It's on my phone too. The cameras weren't there. She just didn't want to have to talk about it, right? Because she was pregnant and would have made her look bad. So Ashley, here we go. You said, remember, this is actually important, you guys. And I wonder why Porsha left this out the book. Remember season 13 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Todd's party got cut because Porsha was bucking up and Porsha didn't want that to air. The cameras weren't there. She just didn't want to have to talk about it because she was pregnant and it would have made her look bad. I'm talking about so remember when it was the party where Porsha ran up in an alley outside of the girl that works with Candy. I believe her name's Jamie. Why can't I remember the girl's name? Jamie, really pretty, right? And I think they used to be like really good friends, is what everybody's telling me. Porsha chased her down, came back to the party, was laughing about it. But there was also the party, and I think it was the same party, where Porsha was supposed to be pregnant, but she's on camera and she was having a drink. Now, I don't know if Porsha knew she was pregnant at this point, but take it for what you want. All right, now let's get to more super chats. Janie, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And yes, I will be. You guys, make sure you watch my last review for Porsha's Family Values. It is so funny. Y'all, there's 728 people in here. Make sure you hit the like button. Now, let's get back to this, right? So anyway, fact check. No, that wasn't the most fabulous mugshot we've ever seen, but whatever, right? More important, the audience saw a very real breakdown. I lost my peach next season and received a paycheck, a pay cut, which she took years to recover from. But I didn't let that stop me from being transparent in front of the cameras. Porsha ain't never been transparent since, right? I struggled in front of millions of people, but because I allowed them to see that I was a real woman capable of making impulsive decisions, the audience didn't turn on me. They fell in love with me. Now, this sounds like what her producer was whispering in her ear, because I don't care what you say. Porsha was not in her 20s. She was 30 something by then. And you trying to say because they saw a real woman, what real woman is jumping up at work and grabbing someone and dragging them across the floor? Now, I don't know. Maybe you guys have fantasies about beating your coworkers to a pulp. I don't know. I just know grown women, especially when you come from a legacy, especially when like people watch the show. It's like if I was like on YouTube Live and got in a fight with someone. Can y'all imagine? And I'm just on YouTube. Can y'all imagine? Wouldn't be me, and that's all I'm saying. And not because I think I'm better, just because I know sometimes you just got to look at someone and be like, okay, okay. Sometimes you just got to do that, right? Now, listen, I made a choice right then. It didn't matter what Porsha I was at the time, fed up and frustrated or flourishing and fulfilled. I'd always keep it real about my pursuit of my best self. It's fan fiction. It's fan fiction. Now, I know that Simon and Porsha are bragging this is a national bestseller. One, something to make milk ain't clean. Two, I'm going to confirm this, right? Two, I'm going to confirm, right? Hey, LaShawn, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. And you have been a member for 3 months. Everybody, give LaShawn a hug. Thank you so much, LaShawn. I love you guys. I love my Tattle Tells. And thank you. You've been rocking me for 3 months, LaShawn. Thank you so much. And I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. So, like I was saying, yeah, again, Porsha, she fulfills a very, I don't know. Porsha, the issue I have with this book, and let me know if you guys have read it, what you guys think. The issue I actually have with this book is there's actually not 1 ounce of self-reflection. There's not 1 ounce of self-awareness. Now, I know that they said that they got a national bestseller thing for this book. I'm still trying to fact check and seeing how that happened. First of all, I want to say you need to congratulate your ghostwriter because you didn't write this mess. Just like you didn't even do most of the audiobook. You had Lauren in the booth doing it because you were too busy gallivanting with Simon, right? But also, I'm going to do some fact checking on that because something in the milk ain't clean and I think it knows what it is, right? But when she talks about how she grew into the woman, she says, after I grew into a woman who knew exactly what she wanted, I never encountered another abusive relationship again. All right, that's good. That shows growth. But the whole thing is that this is supposed to be Christian inspirational. Besides lying about being a woman that literally kept her, I'm surprised she said she wasn't dressed in Purda, making, like literally, I'm just surprised she wasn't saying that. You had the nerve to say that you never encountered another abusive relationship. That again, that's great. But if this is a book of introspection, how did that happen? Because if I was in an abusive relationship and I'm buying this to be inspired, I want to know how you made it out. I want to know the things you did. I want to know the way the magic happened because maybe you might inspire me to do something. So let's see where the magic is. She said, if I'm being honest, I still don't know what shift happened to break the cycle in my life. But if I had to distill it down to one final idea, it'd be that I finally grew into my power. And not only that, I grew into my purpose. Y'all, how do you skim over the fight that happened with Porsha? I'm sorry, with Kenya and Porsha. And I think that Porsha was dead wrong with that. You skimmed over Cynthia, you skimmed over Jamie, you skimmed over Shamia, and that's just what we call on camera. You skimmed over all of that, and you have the nerve, the audacity to share a mitigated goal to skip over all that and say that you were never in another abusive relationship again. You are the abuser. What are you talking about? All your friendships seem to be abusive relationships. And I'm not even joking. You seem to like putting your hands on friends. You seem to like, anyway, let's move on, right? But you are the person we've been looking for. But if I had to distill it down to one final idea, that's another thing why I think Porsha has so much. Maybe she is self-aware, but I think that's another reason why Porsha has so many problems is because Porsha always has to look good. Again, Porsha understands social media game. In social media, you can never let them see sweat. Social media and Instagram do not appreciate whole people. They don't appreciate real people. Even the way on Instagram, you have to have your brand, right? If if you look good on Monday, but you look like crap Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, don't post that because that's not on brand. If it doesn't encourage you to show different facets to your personality. It encourages you to find one facet that people like, and you keep focusing in on that, right? Maybe YouTube does the same thing. I don't know, but I'm about to start dropping new content on you guys. So we'll see if you guys like the other facets of my personality, right? But Porsha understands that. But I will hold on. Hold on. Okay. But what I am saying is it doesn't encourage that, and Portia understand that. And for somebody with Portia that is, and this goes for all reality TV people, right? That are very good at giving one side of them and making you feel like that's all of them. It's the perfect medium. It's the perfect medium. There's a reason why Papa Portia isn't picking up. There's a reason why Portia's not on YouTube, because the more somebody talks, the more you engage with someone, the more you start to see beside their facade. It's very, and again, you can do pre-tape videos, but I will say to all the YouTube bloggers that regularly go live, I see what it is, because it's almost impossible to keep your fake self on while you're doing a live. You can do it every now and then, but if you're really getting into that live culture, doing it for an hour, doing it for an hour and a half, not just little 15-minute blips, it's hard to stay on script because your true personality keeps coming out. And when you talk, you give away clues about who you are without even realizing it. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what my whole point in saying it is. Portia sticks to mediums where you can hide behind a false reality. A lot of people do, that's fine. But you see the media, the issue where you have to show more of your true self, she stays away from. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Listen. So anyway, let's get into this. So anyway, she said, after my divorce, this is the dating years, right? This is when Princess of Thoughtlandia was born, right? Let's see. Krista McGray said she lying. She's not on the New York Times bestseller or Amazon bestsellers list. Will Smith's book is. I know that's right. Of course. Well, I heard Will Smith's book. I've been reading it, but I liked it, but I've heard from a lot of people they found it absolutely great, and I heard that it's doing great, beautiful numbers. But that's the thing between Will Smith and Portia. I mean, besides the fact he's Will Smith and he's lived Will Smith's life, Will Smith actually dug down deep and showed you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. And it's that thing where like you see someone at their best and you see somebody at the worst and you love them despite of it. That's the type of feeling the book has where you're just like, yo, right? Very, very authentic. Yeah, I checked too. Portia is not on the Amazon Prime, Amazon bestsellers or New York Times, right? Or the indie bestsellers list either. But I know what they did, y'all. I happen to know a little bit about book sales, right? I know what they did. And I'm going to break it down in the video so we can all kiki about it. But let's get back to her divorce, right? Portia said, after my divorce, I didn't need anything from Ben. Nothing. I didn't need their love. I didn't need their attention. I didn't need their time. I didn't need their gifts. Girl, I know you lying. I didn't need them to tell me who I was, the value, who I was. I didn't need them at all. It was my first time in my entire life that I really felt like I was truly enough all by myself. Now, the thing is, I know people that knew Portia after her divorce. All I want to say is, like Public Enemy said, don't believe the hype. Do not believe the hype. All right, so let's see what I'm going to talk while I put on another coat of lipstick because my lips are getting chapped. She said, I just wanted men to love me. Perhaps it had something to do, perhaps it had something to do with my father passing away at the exact age I started noticing men and their affections that left me in a longing for affection. It was almost like that at the very moment I needed him to show me the ropes, teach me how to duck, swing, or get back in the ring or tap out. He left me through no fault of his own. He left me here to figure it out when I had no clue how to figure it out. So I played it by ear. I did what men told me to do. I sacrificed every little piece of me if it meant building up pieces of them. Let me tell you something. And this is true. I heard this a lot. Well, I haven't heard it from anybody I know, but I've read about it a lot when it comes to people that their parent dies early. You feel like you really missed something out your life. And of course you did, like somebody you loved, let alone someone that like raised you and showed you the world. But we're forgetting, Portia, I thought you was I'm not married. I thought you had your mom. What about your mom? Here's what I say, and I don't care what anyone says. I don't feel like you need men to put you down on the game that men have. unless you don't respect the opinions of women. Now, again, I don't want to get into this argument, but here's what I'm saying. Having brothers and fathers and all, yeah, that's great to put you down on game, right? But you know who else can put you down on game? Your mom, your sisters, your aunties, the elders in the family, the women that have been through shit and seen every iteration of game, and they're putting you down on game. That's why I don't understand why when people are like, oh, maybe she had a man. What you mean, man? She got elder women around her. Elder woman will put you down on game better than anyone. And they do it in a way that you can understand because they're women too. So they understand what happens with your heart hurting. They understand what happens when somebody got a hold of your heart. They understand the way women are, right? Oh, what's the color? It's plucked by ColourPop. Y'all know I stay in ColourPop, right? It's plucked by ColourPop in their 2000 their 1990s makeup. All right, so here. Yes, Latasha, you just joined. Thank you so much, right? Listen, also, Porsha ain't talk about her Rolls Royces or gifts once, but let's get through this and see what else is going on. Woo! Yes, Crystal, she is not. Now, here's the thing, right? Let's get into this, right? I didn't know what I know now, which is love. Every farm begins with yourself. You got to know your worth, your dreams, your values, your blah, 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 blah. Portia, shut up. Because the thing is, had she never got with Simon, I would have believed this mess. Because in the words of Robert Diction, you almost had me. Had she not got with Simon, I would have believed this mess. I would have really believed all this stuff. But you can't say all this shit. And we see you now on national TV running toward an even bigger mistake. Remember how she was on Andy Cohen and they were like, oh, what happened with Simon and the timeline? And she was like, it literally was. I get the optics don't look right, but what? God bless me. What you want me to do? God bless me. He dropped this man in my lap. What you want me to do? God bless me. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Walk away? He dropped this man in my lap. What y'all want me to do? And I said, you was in someone's husband's DMs talking about God blessed you and dropped the man in your lap in this lap. The real gag is it's not God that dropped him in your lap, and you're gonna find that out soon enough. It was not God that dropped you in the lap, right? Right? But you know what they say, fortune favors the bold. You were bold. Let's see if fortune favors you, right? She said she wanted men to love her, not a man to love her, starting to make sense. Exactly, Sean. You getting it. And that's the funny thing. Sean, I picked that up too. Thank you for bringing that up. The fact that you're saying I wanted men to love me, not a man, not a particular, but I wanted men. She's not even talking about her exes. She's talking about all plurals. Okay, so listen. It's starting to make sense. It is starting to make sense. And I agree with you. When you write a book about your life, listen, we watched you throw yourself at Simon's feet. We watched you sit across from this man on TV. Why he said that in his culture, he got side BITCHs and that, and literally telling you to manage your expectations. And you just blinked and had another shot of tequila. Girl, you can't tell me shit about loving myself. And I don't care what no one says. And you in the chat talking about, oh, well, she got a bag. That's all that matters. Let me tell you something, mama. All money is not good money. And listen, yes, I'm not going to lie. Of course, my man got more than me. However, I can take care of myself. And I got enough sparks and enough gumption that if things go bad for him, I can take care of both of us. I mean, we won't be taking that many vacations, but there will be food in the refrigerator and the lights will be on. Porsha, literally, I don't even think it's love. I think because Porsha grew up at a point where when her mom divorced Hosea, there was a point where Porsha and her mom were really and her brother Hosea, I believe from what people told me, was really in a tough position financially. And I think that Porsha looks at money as security to never ever go back. Like Erica De Niro says, Porsha operates like a woman who is in constant want. She operates like somebody where the rent is due. Always. Okay. So anyway, okay, here we go, right? For years I asked God, why would you tell me Cordell was my husband only for it to blow up in my face? Are you accusing God of lying to you? Sounds blasphemous to me. Why would you put me through that? It took me years to actually hear his answer. because you are my child. God wanted me to give every single thing I wanted, even if it was outside of his will. I desperately wanted Cordell to be my husband. That doesn't mean anything because you said that God told you that Cordell was the one. So which is it? Was it God or was it you? Anyway, but it didn't mean that was his intention for my life. So what happens when you step outside of God's will? He moves closer to you, making sure even as you move in uncharted territory, you're still covered by his grace. It was truly the grace of God that kept me. Okay. Anyway, she said, listen, it grew into her purpose. I had people I used to watch on television as a child, people I looked up to, people I admired, now stopping me in the street, telling me they were rooting for me. They were rooting for the fake you. I'll never forget the time I was flying back to Atlanta from Los Angeles after doing a photo shoot with the crew for Dish Nation. So this is where she talking about she was on the plane in first class with Ricky, DeBrat, Gary, and Headrack, right? All in first class. When I got up to go to the bathroom, that's when I heard a distinct and familiar voice say, Porsha, Porsha. I turned around to see Samuel L. Jackson. Inside, I was freaking out because, this was Samuel L. Jackson. But I tried to play it cool as possible. He was talking to Headrack about something I couldn't hear over the plane's hum. But I pretended to be in on whatever joke they were saying. Hey, what's up, Sam? Hey, what's up, Samuel? I said, absolutely thrilled to speak with one of my idols. Yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing. I watch y'all, man. Y'all doing y'all thing. It was such a brief encounter, but it was an amazing reminder to keep my head down and keep going to work. Sam, I feel like I can calm that down since we're friends. Ha! It reminded me that I'm doing the work and now I'm on the radar. People that I admire forever, they see me, they see what I'm doing, they respect me. It's another level of validation. I'm doing a good job. You know what? All right, fine. I'll give Porsha that. Porsha accomplished a lot. She accomplished a lot. She did more with the people in Real Housewives than I think most housewives did outside of Candy. Porsha accomplished a lot, and I give it to her. It's her charm, it's her charisma, it's her beauty, it's her whole package. I think my issue with Porsha, and a lot of people's issues with this, is the fact that I don't even know how to say, but taken away from, right? Listen, listen. Ugh, let's move on, right? Let me be clear. My power and purpose had nothing to do with celebrity run-ins. Then why did you tell us about it? This is what makes Porsha a walking contradiction, right? You delighted in the fact because you got baby hairs and a 30-inch weave that you didn't look like a regular black girl, right? But then you say nothing wrong with looking like a regular black girl. You tell us a dumb story about meeting Samuel L. Jackson, why did you bring him up? Is this the only celebrity you've ever met? But yet you don't want to talk about celebrity run-ins because that's not the point. You tell us about how God told you Cordell was the one. So even when Cordell was taking you through changes, you submitted even more because you wanted it through God's work. Now you're telling us that God never told you, but it was actually you using God as an excuse. But thank God moved closer to you. Again, Porsha is a very complicated woman, and I do believe a lot of her trauma, pain, and the way she is rooted in trauma. I 100% believe that. However, this isn't about me feeling sorry for somebody. It's about a book and this is a book club, right? When we get into Nietzsche, right, and Aristotle, y'all go to see, this is about a book club. And it really is like, all right, like, who are you? I still don't know. I know you're a walking contradiction. I know you will lie. And I know even in this book that you made me pay how much for? I think I got it for $14.90. No, $18.99. Because it was on Amazon, $21.99 on Barnes and Noble. That this book, I still don't know anything more about you than what I saw on TV. I just know that you're a big liar. And your lies happen back to back to back. You don't even let them breathe, right? You don't even let them breathe, right? Listen. She said, it's not about having money or status or fame. All those things are false because if Simon, I know he's broke. We know he's broke. But if Simon in Portia's mind did not have money or status, she would not be with him. She wouldn't even be looking at him. I don't care what y'all say, she wouldn't have. And let me tell y'all something. Even if you say, well, guess what? Portia and Simon look like they're related. Maybe she sees his face and she sees something and she's like, oh, whatever. Okay, maybe. And maybe she finds Simon attractive. Maybe. but attractive enough to break up somebody's marriage, attractive enough to go into somebody's DMs. Again, people of earth, I bring you the truth. Do you think that if Simon did not have the make believe money and clout that she thought she did, right? Do you think, do you think for one instance that she would have slid into his DMs, broke his marriage up, and then spent all that time gallivanting? Do you think? Absolutely not, right? Listen, she said, it's nothing to do with my grandfather or being with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, maybe. Instead, it had everything to do with knowing who I am. Another amazing outcome after my divorce was the growth of my empire. Okay, so let's get into this. Hold on. There's something. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's skip over this mess because it's just like her saying platitudes and just saying like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not about that. Why she brags about everything that she's had, right? It's not about money, even though we know how much Cordell spent on you in the wedding. Okay, anyway. Let's see. I can't. After along my growing business, I was now open to growing my dating life again too. I was now exercising my power of discernment. I couldn't date just any old body because now I had a lot to lose. Words written. I finally created standards for myself, and if the men in my life couldn't live up to them, I was more than willing to text them goodbye. I was finally making rules in my relationship. I was the girl who now said, listen, don't post me on social media. I don't want people to know we're talking until it's serious. If they didn't take my boundaries seriously, I'd stop dating them, period. Now let me repeat. She said, I was the girl who now said, listen, don't post me on social media. I don't want people to know we're talking until it's serious. If they didn't take my boundaries seriously, I stopped dating them, period. But didn't we just see on episode 2 of Pursuit of Porsha, your fiance literally posted shit after you asked him nicely to not to, and then talked to you like you were a big dum-dum, being like, oh, you ain't like that? I'm sorry. Literally, we're delighting in the fact that you don't have a voice in the relationship. You can see by the way Porsha tips toes around Simon and never, even on camera, don't ever really tell him what she feels, but we'll be talking to Miss Diane or Lauren. You can 100% tell you ain't got a voice in that relationship either. And that's sad because how you dating a 6-year-old with 5 kids and questionable finances and you still can't find your voice? What are you worried about losing? What do you think you're going to lose? Anyway, let's get into this. Okay. Mm. I don't know why I just ate that piece of chocolate. I'm not supposed to be reading this book to y'all. Hold on. Please hold. While we're holding, why don't y'all sign up for my membership? It's only $4.99. The last live was lit. Can't even talk. Okay. Now, after, passion fruit and chili pepper is so good. After not having many standards at all, finally finding them felt like freedom to me. Being able to say goodbye or don't call me again simply because they did not meet my expectations I had for love and partnership was freeing. It was also restrictive at times, if I'm being honest. Whereas before, my feelings could lead me astray and sweep me to a shore with the tide. My new standards kept me anchored, yet guarded. It didn't help that at the same time I was starting to make decisions for the Real Housewives that ended up deeply shaping my personal life. I often felt that to play my part on the show, I had to show off who I was dating. It's something I feel only happens with certain housewives. On other franchises, if women get divorced, I didn't see them dragging who they were dating onto the show. But for me, I felt like I needed to have a man in my life on the show. Every Housewives franchise. Anyway, let's move on. It not only led me to choosing men I wouldn't necessarily date it, but also forced me to hide relationships with men that I cared for. There was one man I dated off and on for years, but because he didn't want to film, I essentially broke us up. I called him my Mr. Big, I la Sex in the City. He was a really great guy who I've traveled with and spent holidays with, but because of what I did for a living and because of his own situations, we could never get our timing right, so I began dating other people on the show, and no respectable man was going to watch this woman date someone else on the show. Now, this is Porsha talking about she was being authentic and showing her true self. She also said that she was dating this Mr. Big Guy. This Mr. Big Guy is amalgamation of the guy I mentioned in my members only live and the married guy that I also mentioned in my members only live, right? But you also say you're being so honest, but you decided that if he wouldn't film with you, you were going to just start dating other people on the show, even though you weren't single. And you're saying that he was a respectable guy, so he wasn't going to sit there and watch you put on a front for the show. Porsha has a tenuous relationship with the truth. Honestly, I don't think she's tethered. I told men, if you don't want to film, then I'm sorry. You need to sit over there and wait till I'm finished filming, and then I'll get back to you. If you can't fit into my life, then get the hell out of here. If you didn't want to date me when I had the time to date, then I said goodbye. Now, I don't know why that men had a problem with someone saying, if you want to film, then I'm sorry, you need to go sit over there and wait until I'm finished filming, and then I'll get back to you. If you can't fit in my life, then get the hell out of here. This is what she was telling men. How much you want to bet this conversation did not happen? Porsha, this is what you were telling people to get the hell out of your life, and you were talking to them like they were trash? And if you were, it's a wonder they didn't stay. Girl, shut up. Porsha is literally, right? Literally. Porsha is literally writing her own fan fiction, right? She said, but leave it to God to whisper in my ear yet again, rub me on my back, and gently remind me that everyone, including men, deserve grace. Everyone, including men, deserves second chances. I can't just construct a life and then pluck a man and place him in a house that I had bought and make him sign a contract to have a baby. Girl, you tried, but you tried it. Y'all remember Todd? Y'all remember Portia's Todd with the baby contract, right? I told God, all right, fine. Clearly, my strategy isn't working for my personal life, so I'll just chill. I'll wait until you send them. But God, at least let us have chemistry. We know God didn't ask her. We know God definitely didn't send her Simon. We know that for a fact. Okay. She said, and when I first met Dennis McKinley, we had fire chemistry. It was actually after taping a reunion for Real Housewives when I bumped into McKinley. There was my stylist, Jeremy Hayes, called himself using his last name when he first told us about this handsome bachelor who owned a couple of clubs in Atlanta. Now, mind you, Porsha don't mention Simon one time, but she's describing Dennis as a handsome bachelor, right? Who owned a couple of clubs in Atlanta. When Jeremy said, let's go to the club, after filming the reunion for 14 hours straight, I said, F it. Why not? I just finished arguing with these women for hours. Let's go get drunk. All right, she wanted to blow off some steam. I feel it. Ain't no shame, right? Listen, right? It don't matter. And the reason why he called him saying this is Guy McKinley, everybody in Atlanta calls Dennis by his last name, McKinley. They don't call him Dennis and Menace. So if you're looking for Dennis, or if any of you guys want to get with Dennis, go into the club and be like, is McKinley here? They might actually put you through. All right. You too could be some work. And quiet as it's kept, Porsha looks like she's auditioning to be some work again, but she wants to be the all-consuming work. All right. She said, it didn't matter that I had a black Adidas tracksuit because I refused to be uncomfortable for a second longer. At least I was in full hair and makeup. Again, do you care what you look like or do you not care? Girl, pick a lane. And that's the thing. Anyway, by the time that Jeremy Lauren and my makeup artist and my assistant turned friend Dom walked into Dream, we were looking for a good time. Now, they said when she walked into Dream, she was blown away. It kind of looked like a fairy tale. It had mushrooms on the wall. And when she said that, she described it as everything looked really whimsical because there were mushrooms on the wall and stuff. And it brought me back to Lottie on the show when Lottie said that they were country bumpkins. I guess Porsha ain't never been to a club that was decorated, right? She said, it looked like we had just stepped into a gentleman's club that had been built by Willy Wonka. But we know by that time, Porsha was very familiar with what a club looked like. I was drinking away the fact that every other girl in there was just dressed up looking cute while I was in a tracksuit when Jeremy told me that we were about to meet the owner. Porsha is, I don't care what nobody says, Porsha is not a girl's girl. She is always comparing herself to other women and not even mad. If you ain't want to go, you could. Anyway, right? Listen, also, her trying to act like she's in the middle of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. If anybody's been to Dream in Atlanta, right? Dream is really small. It literally has two tiny stalls. It's a small club. It's more like a lounge, like a drink place, right? All this stuff. Now, anyway, she said, I wasn't paying too much attention though. I met plenty of club owners doing bookings over the years, so I shook Dennis's hand and kept him moving. It hadn't yet clicked that his name was the same McKinley Jeremy had just told us about. Let me get this straight. First of all, this is Porsha's game. If you read the book, when she first meets guys, she tries to be cold or get them to brush off, and the guys that chase her, she goes off her. Also, your friend told you, let's go to a club that McKinley owns. Who's McKinley? He owns a bunch of clubs, but let's go to his, right? So she goes to the club, and then one of her friends says, I think Dom says, yo, you want to meet the owner of the club. And she shakes his hands and kept it moving. And she didn't realize, right? It hadn't clicked. Maybe it was on the Underground Railroad track to 200. It hadn't clicked that McKinley, right, was the same McKinley who he just told you about. It didn't click. And they both introduced him as McKinley. Now, I don't know about Atlanta, but are there a lot of McKinleys in Atlanta? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Let's move on, right? After a couple of hours of dancing to bass-heavy music and dim lights, I was getting sleepy. Having been at the reunion all day, I was ready to go. But when I stepped outside, I had a boot on my car. What the hell? A boot? I wasn't parked illegally or in a crazy spot or anything, and it made sense to me. Jeremy ran back in the club saying he'd get McKinley to come and get this boot off. Now, she says, later on, I found out Dennis had put a boot on my car so I'd have an excuse to talk to him later that night. He literally called the city so he could be Superman and get the boot taken off. First of all, that's illegal. And second of all, you think that's cute? I don't, but whatever. Sure enough, that night Dennis came out of there saying, I'll take care of that. I got you, right? Well, I see Dennis with like the Detroit fur, the fox over his shoulder wearing his little medium sweatsuit, right? His Versace sweatsuit that he's not throwing away even if he gained 20 pounds, right? It was kind of genius. It showed me that Dennis was willing to get creative in order to get to know me a little better. That sounds like a red flag to me, right? From that night, when he purposely slipped his number into my friend's phone so I could call him later, right? When he purposely slipped his number into my friend's phone. Y'all, what that sound like to you? Porsha's single, right? She ain't dating anybody, right? She's an independent woman, right? Ladies, when do a guy's number get put in your friend's phone? Maybe when you got somebody going through your phone. I don't know. Guys. Let's get back on track, right? Let's see. So I could call him. It took about 3 months of playing phone tag and a couple of late night calls until we actually went out. When Dennis walked into McCormick and Smith's, a lovely little seafood restaurant. This ghostwriter is not in America. Don't get me wrong. McCormick and Smith's is a nice seafood restaurant. It's a seafood restaurant. It is the nicest, right? Listen. It's the nicest restaurant. Now, the funny thing is, right, you need to think. Porsha's trying to say the only reason she gave Dennis her number or took Dennis's number is because he put a boot on her car. Girl, you ain't got to lie to kick it. You knew that was Dennis. You saw money. You were like, oh, I'm getting with the owner. Because even if he put the boot on your car, once he took it off, his phone number was in your girl's phone. You ain't never have to call him again. So what was your excuse for calling him? Anyway, besides the fact that you wanted the club owner, you ain't got to lie to kick it, whatever. Porsha was in the hood rich guys then. Like you don't need to open, you don't need to rule the world. All you need to do is own a couple of clubs and we in. And not much has changed, right? Now, y'all, there's 839 people in this live. You see me working, having story time. I'm about to pass out apple juice and pretzels for y'all during our story time. Hit the like button and show me that you appreciate it, right? Now, she said, so their first date was at McCormick and Smith's. That's a seafood restaurant. I think, is there still one there's one in San Diego. Is there still one in Atlanta? I don't know. Is that chain still open? Anyway, I barely even recognized him because when we met at his club, which he eventually shut down to go open several other businesses, I was sleepy, tipsy, and ready to go home after seeing a boot on my car. So when our eyes finally met in the restaurant, I was taken aback in a good way. He was handsome. He had these really warm eyes and a great smile. Just looking at him made me light up. Yo, is this why Simon didn't want to read the book? Is this why Simon was like, at first, I didn't even read back. And now I see I'm going to put a baby in you. Ew, Simon is so disgusting. Who even thinks that's attractive? The fact that Simon and Porsha talk to each other in the most vulgar way. I know every relationship has its own thing, but they talk to each other in the most vulgar and not even like, it's not even the vulgarity. There's no razzle dazzle. Yeah, I've seen people that are vulgar, but it's like, you're vulgar, but it's funny, right? There's no razzle dazzle. It's just like, I'm gonna put a baby in you. Wait about the in Porsha. What about the baby in your BALLS's? Just so now I see why Simon want to read this book. You on the dentist chapter is getting mad because there's one thing. But then again, she did say that she was looking at her handsome husband, Simon, her handsome man while she was pissy drunk. Anyway, at that first dinner, we spoke about everything. We spoke about being entrepreneurs and how we both started off running businesses in the hair industry. Dennis, I think, got sued for stealing part of from the girlfriend with his hair company. I think he's paying her back now, but it was a point of contention, right? And now we both started off running businesses in the hair industry, which I didn't realize we had in common. That was when Dennis dropped a little bomb on me. You know, the first time meeting each our first time meeting each other wasn't at the club. It wasn't. Porsha loves playing stupid. Anyway, nah, we met at Bronner Brothers. Yeah, it must have been like 4 years ago. He said smoothly. I guess you thought I was trying to holler at you, so you kind of brushed me off. Little did Porsha know, those were her angels. When she brushed Dennis off 4 years ago, those were Porsha's angels. But I don't think Porsha knew. I don't think Porsha was messing with Dennis 4 years ago because I think those were the R. Kelly years and also the Cordell years. Isn't it funny that Dennis was trying to holler at her while she was married and with Mr. R. Kelly, right? Listen, also, right? Also, I do have it on good authority that, for one, did Porsha ever FaceTime with Dennis once in those months? Don't forget, they only knew each other for 3 months. This was what, 4 years ago? FaceTime existed. Did you ever FaceTime? Ask to see a pic? Anything? But let's just say that she didn't, right? Who introduced them at Bonner? Who introduced her? I have a good authority that from one of Dennis's friends, and they know Dennis, that she didn't. Who was it? One of their mutual friends, and I think it was Portia's friend. I think it's the girl I'm trying to get to come on the show. Right now, I'm trying to get her. If anybody knows Jamie, if anybody knows Jamie, can you please reach out? I'm gonna shake every try I can and see if she'll come on my show because my friends, when I was talking to, actually said that it's either her or Lauren. One of those two actually introduced Porsha to Simon. Right now, at that time, I think Porsha was with someone, but we all know, Porsha says that I was a good wife. I didn't look left or right. Okay. So anyway, let's go. Oh, also, Bronner Brothers is an international beauty show. If you guys were, it's not a club, right? It's the largest exposition. Oh, so Porsha said, "Oh yeah, then that was me. That sounds like me." I see that's Porsha's game. She ignores, so they go. But isn't that what narcs do? They ignore you and try to neg you to see if you come closer. Okay, I'm just saying, right? I was promoting Go Naked Hair, right? And Dennis was there promoting Queen Virgin Remy, a hair company he later sold. Oh, wait, I was in the hair store one day a long time ago and I saw Queen Virgin Remy. I wonder if that's Dennis's hair. It wasn't that good of quality, but maybe I was just looking at the cheap stuff. But you know me. Listen, nothing can beat a $9.99 synthetic ponytail. Nothing. I don't care who you are. Anyway, it's funny because the work boundaries I began on the set of those music videos came back in my early 20s and the same work boundaries I had decades later. I hated mixing business and pleasure. In that moment, though, I was just glad my boundaries still made space to meet again. Girl, what boundaries? You were married and had a boyfriend, you were dating R. Kelly, and you might have also been married and listen, right? Listen. Also, yeah, I see you guys in chat. Sorry, Joshua. Correction. It was either Jamie or Lauren who introduced Dennis to Porsha, not Simon. Thank you, Joshua, for catching that. Sorry, you know they're interchangeable to me sometimes. Jamie or Lauren introduced her to Simon. And when you talk about Shamia claims she introduced him, that can't be true because Simon himself and Porsha already confirmed that she slid into his DM. So oddly enough, Shamia ain't introduced them either. So I wonder how Shamia's name got thrown into that mix. If anybody knows Shamia, I would love to have Shamia on my show for an interview also. Okay, so anyway, at Dennis and I couldn't stop talking because we realized we were so like each other. We connected over being close with our moms and working with our moms. I didn't think about any of the things you're supposed to ask on first dates. I went straight for the tough questions. Do you have any kids? No, but I want kids one day with the right person. Do you have kids? He shot back with a smile. No, but I do want kids. Since we're the same age, I was a little shocked he didn't have kids yet. But for some reason, it comforted me. I guess it put us on an even playing field, except for when it came to marriages. I told him I was divorced, and I started on the Real Housewives in Atlanta. Do you watch it? Nah, I don't really watch that show, but of course I'm familiar. Okay, Dennis, that was an honest answer. He was like, I'll watch that mess, but I know what it is. That was an honest answer, right? From our first in-depth conversation, Dennis felt so sincere and genuine. That's why I was enamored with him from the very beginning. I could tell he was truthful. Nothing felt hidden when I spoke to Dennis, and it meant a lot to me he could say what he wanted without pretense. Dennis was also very sure of what he wanted, and he wanted a lot out of life. To be successful, to have a family, to have love. Although we were still getting to know each other, I wanted that for him too. Porsha's that girl. Don't tell her you want a family. Don't tell her you want marriage. She's going to buy herself her own ring and get herself pregnant after 3 weeks of dating, right? We watched Family Feud all night. Oh, here's the thing, right? This is when Porsha walked in his house and said, he got money. She said, after dinner, Dennis invited me back to his industrial style condo. I was blown away because the vibe he created inside was at home was very cool. It taught me so much about the man I just had a fabulous dinner with. Dennis had beautiful artwork on every inch of the wall. Harry thought he was a regular dude, but he was actually very cultured. Girl, how are you saying that you were connecting and having a soul bond over the table, but you still think you're talking to a regular smuggler dude? And it wasn't until you walked into his house and saw it was littered with art, and I guess he got like a really, really nice house, that you're like, oh, he's cultured. That's words for, listen. That's thing for like, oh, he got money, right? Now, here's the thing, right? Who made that comment? I saw y'all, right? Let's see. Yeah, listen, I saw Fallon's whatchamacallit interview with Candy, and she said that Simon and Dennis had known each other, and that's how they got introduced. But I'm telling y'all, from what my people are saying, at that time, Fallon still thought she was going to get on Real Housewives of Atlanta, so she was still going on with the storyline that producers had given them about how they met. Because even Porsha even said that they didn't meet through Dennis, so it's fine, right? Y'all said Dennis is a street hustler. Porsha was a front to wash his money. Queen Dara, you said that. Let me find that comment because I got an answer for that. Here we go. Right? That's what a lot of people, hold on, y'all. Really quick. Hold on. Okay. So sorry about that. So yeah, Dennis was a street hustler. Porsha was a friend to wash his money. So no lie, that's what a lot of people in Atlanta were saying at the time that Dennis and Porsha was saying. We all know that Porsha don't have a problem dating with somebody. She don't care how that money comes up. She just wants that money. However, Dennis also did some jail time too, right? But for some reason, it was never brought up on the show. Now, had that been Sheree or Marlo, they would have dragged up and down. Remember when Porsha was sitting there saying, you're a felon, I don't feel safe. Security. You wasn't saying it when Dennis was busting it wide and laying his low. Were you calling for security when Dennis was up in that? Because you clearly don't have a problem with felons, and you clearly don't have a problem with somebody that gets their money by unsung ways, shall we call it. We'll just keep it at that. Now, right? Listen, We watched Family Feud all night, laughing, drinking, and trying to guess which family would go home with the prize money. Next thing I noticed, Dennis was typing furiously on his phone. Portia, I gotta go to the club real quick to handle something. I felt my heart sink because I didn't want our day to end. But if anybody understood the sacrifices you made for our businesses, it was me. So I tried not to let the disappointment show on my face. Oh, okay, I said a little too casually. No, you don't have to leave. Stay right here and I'll be right back, right back. He said, showing me that he was on the same wavelength. By the time Dennis had closed the door, I was hyped. What is it about men leaving you in a place that makes you feel like you're the one? Because that's exactly how I felt. Now, isn't that interesting? She said that what is it about men leaving you in their place alone that makes you feel like you're the one? Now, you see how she's talking about this growth and how much she's changed? Dennis let your ass in his house alone, right? And if I was Dennis, Portia, Portia strikes me as the type of person that goes through people's medicine cabinets, right? I'm the type of person, you leave me alone in your house, I'm not going through anything. Partly because I don't got the time. I don't have the time because you can already vibe, you can already feel whatever. But I just, because honestly, I look at like snooping through someone's house, like going through someone's mail. It's an incredible invasion of privacy. It's one of those things I would never want anyone to snoop through my home. So I would never go through someone's home. And again, y'all know me. I don't need to snoop through somebody's home. I can just sit there and go through your Instagram and be like, case closed, right? But the fact that you were fine with R. Kelly leaving you sitting on the bed for hours, right, in his home, and you said all the stuff, but you just admitted that what is it about a man leaving you in their place that makes you feel like you're the one? Because that's exactly how I felt. Y'all, again, if you take what she's saying now and you do it to those R. Kelly chapters, you get the feeling you were actually really, really into R. Kelly. You thought that you guys were going to get married and he was going to put a baby in you. To quote Simon Gabodia, 2021, now that I'm reading this book, I'm going to put a baby in you. Anyway, I'm sorry. I keep every time I read, I keep thinking about Simon just sitting there getting hot and bothered. What part of this book made you? Also, another thing. What part of this book got you hot and bothered? You wanted to put a baby in her. The part where she was being held hostage by R. Kelly. The part where Country John was. They had that altercation. The part where Cordell was treating her like crap. The part where she fell in love with Dennis. What about this part made you put a? What made you want to put a baby in her? Hey, Tommy Bites Homestead. Woo! Prepping. Welcome to the Tattle Tells family. Welcome, 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 welcome. And also, it's Latasha. It's Latasha. Did that give you a shout out, mama? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Tattle Tells family. No, that was LaShawn. Latasha. It's Latasha, mama. You've been rocking with me for a long time. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Tattle Tells family. And also, Tommy Bites Homestead. What preppings? Welcome to the Tattle Tells fam. Listen. I'm just saying, what part was he like, eating his Oscar Mayer turkey bacon and egg whites with Mrs. Dash? Probably the lemon pepper flavor, or he seems like he's like a more of a red pepper blend type of guy. You know, I don't know why. I just think he goes for the red pepper Mrs. Dash. Not some, I don't put a baby in you now. Ew, I literally be like, please delete that. Delete that. Ew, yuck, yuck, yuck. Forget it. Anyway, let's get into this, right? So when you look at the way that she actually likes being left alone in men's houses because it makes her feel like the one, right? What was going on with R. Kelly? And why were they actually questioning her? What role did she play? I know that she never said she has a lot of respect for R. Kelly. If you read that article, not the article, but if you read that chapter, she really speaks about him, saying he was music, he was genius. If I was R. Kelly, I can't even get mad at that because you painted me in a very favorable light, right? And then the feds come and question you again. If you weren't being held against your will, and if you weren't being abused, and if you were the girlfriend he had a loving relationship, what was your role in R. Kelly's house? Because she still hasn't explained that. I know she said that she was a girlfriend in a dysfunctional relationship, but you said that you always saw girls walking around. She was walking into girls and always talking about, hi, I'm Porsha. What's your name? So what was your role? What was your role? I'm just wondering, right? Listen. Oh, yes. Yes, Latoya. Make sure y'all get it. My next book club is going to be Will Smith's book, and it is going to be a good book. That book is good, right? Now, listen, if you recall, also, Portia filmed at Dennis's at his loft, right? And that was the first season that they were actually together. It looked empty. Do y'all remember that? Right? But maybe that's the angle that they filmed it. So this is another fact check on Porsha. You talking about the thing that made you fall in love with Dennis was he was so cultured and this and that. But when they filmed in a Real House in Atlanta, it looked really empty. But again, maybe it's the angle they filmed in it. Maybe it was the angle. Y'all go back and watch the old season when Porsha was actually in Dennis's loft. Did y'all see somebody really cultured and a lot of art? Again, she writing fan fiction. I don't know what's what, right? So I'll put my own opinion in it. So anyway, she said, what is it about men leaving you in their place that makes you feel like you're the one? I don't know, because it damn sure worked with R. Kelly. You thought y'all was about to have a baby, right? Hey, B said, someone said that R. Kelly recorded all his encounters, and she talks about it in the book because she was worried a tape may appear. I don't know about that. You know what? Maybe, because she was, when she really got mad is when she got moved out of his main bedroom and got moved into this room that had glass everywhere, even on the ceiling, everywhere but the floor. And it just had a bed. And I'm not lying. When I read that, I said, oh, you moved from girlfriend to pass around because you're being held in a room, not even held, you are purposely staying in a room with mirrors everywhere. Even that sounds like some, like, you know, those motels where they dress them up in different rooms and stuff. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? What did Queen Dara said? Yeah, they have mountains of evidence, right? Queen Dara is saying, what is Queen Dara saying? Well, somebody said, yeah, Queen Dara's educators. Okay, so anyway, here we go, right? Okay. After the good food, the good drinks, and the good conversation, I was gassed up by the time he left me inside his condo. I felt so special. I had been in a long time since I felt that way. But you just told us that you had issues with people leaving your rooms alone because of what your dad did to you when you were younger. And then you said you had an issue of R. Kelly doing it because it reminded you of your dad and made you feel unsafe. Now Dennis is doing it, and you're cool and you're gassed up, and this is what you love. By the time I got back, I'd already pictured myself hanging in one of those frames on the walls, becoming a true part of this man's life in his house. I actually do think that's exactly what she did, because that is what Porsha does. Like Dennis said, she flies high and she falls fast. Didn't it remind me of my father in so many unspoken ways, and the ways I could verbalize? Dennis was a businessman. My father was a businessman. Dennis was human. My father was human. I just added that and I'm joking. Dennis liked to breathe air. My father liked to breathe air. Dennis drank water. My father drank water. Dennis, listen, I've added that in, but I felt secure and said, literally, she said in the ways I could verbalize, Dennis was a businessman. My father was a businessman. That's the way he reminds you of your father. I felt secure and safe around Dennis, and I felt secure and safe around my father. I also loved that he had a dominant nature about him because I was a boss in my day-to-day life. So I have someone else so to have someone else make decisions felt like a breath of fresh air. I definitely look at my partner I definitely look to my partner to have that audacity to know what's best for his life and at times for mine. Girl, Simon knows what's best for his life and yours, right? Now this is their very first date. After handling whatever he needed to handle at Dream, Dennis was now back on his couch beside me. By this time in the evening, Dennis had leaned over and placed his head in my lap, with his eyes piercing through his thick-rimmed glasses. I don't know why I just laughed. Dennis said, I love you, on the first date. This man left. Now that we know Dennis, this man left to probably go see what's happening with his work at the club and said, I love you. I didn't say a word, but my face must have registered my shock. So Dennis said, I do. I'll show you. I love you. So now I'm thinking, okay, dude, you're either drunk or crazy. No, I'm not messing around, he said, reading my mind. Okay, Dennis, I'll remind you in the morning you said this. The next chapter opens with hoo. It was March 22nd, my daughter Pilar Jenner's birthday, and I was clutching my stomach, breathing heavily through my teeth. Y'all, Porsha just skipped over block, She skipped over her married lover that she was trying to get her to also pimp her out to some wealthy African. She skipped over Mr. Big. She skipped over the dude in DC. She skipped over everyone, went straight to Dennis, went and said they had their first date. Dennis charmed him. He came home, put his head in his lap and said, I love you. And then the next thing you know, she's having a baby. She skipped over all that mess. She skipped over the Kenya. Y'all, listen, behold the bestseller that's not on the New York Times, Amazon bestseller, or indie bestsellers. Behold what y'all think of your queen. And she skipped over the trainer too. And she skipped over the Bolo years. She literally, the next chapter is literally, she devotes to Black Lives Matter. She talks about her family's legacy. She talks about how she was so scared when she went and got arrested, and she talks about her time being arrested. And that's it. And she focuses the whole Black Lives Matter. You would have thought she was on Dr. Martin Luther King's like the freedom. You would have thought she was a freedom writer the way she talked about it. And that was it. Y'all, listen, 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 listen. She forgot Todd. She forgot everybody. Dennis laid his head in her lap and said, I love you. You're going to believe it. And she said, okay, I'm going to remind you of that in the morning. And next thing you know, she was pregnant. That's probably Dennis's recollection, right? That's probably Dennis' recollection of what actually happened. Yo, listen, y'all. Listen, listen, listen. Exactly. Oh, Sean, the waters. Listen, the whole point of her writing this book was to be a cash grab. That was the whole point. And honestly, Porsha ain't even write this book. This was the ghostwriter. But the thing is, she didn't give the ghostwriter enough stuff to go on. That's why, again, it's not the fact that there's 186 pages, because if you guys don't know, Lily the Red Lipstick Hustler, she has written several books based on her life, and they are very compact, but they are riveting, and they get you in your gut. Lily has lived a life and come out successful on the other side. So it's not to say that this can be read in one afternoon. It's just the fact that, like, y'all, listen, I'm gonna do a video about how she's claiming it's a national bestseller, because that's the thing. I know the hustle she's doing, and I know the way they did it. And you know what? I'm gonna make a video about it, right? And also, I want to congratulations for me doing my book club, because I help boost sales too. As much as much as the Porsha stands love to come in here and rip me apart. Girl, you know how many people I got to watch The Pursuit of Porsha? I mean, to read this book. Do you know how many people I got to watch Porsha's Family Values? They need to put me as an EP. Are you? Wait, hold on. Anyway, hold on. Listen. Portia, get out of here. Listen, it's literally, yeah, it's a disgrace to someone like Lily, who really, really, really persevered. Who said that? Queen Dar. Yes. Lily actually, if you want, listen, who said this? Sean said she wanted to that record deal, even if it meant on her back wasn't Kelly. R. Kelly was married. Again, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with going and being like, listen, I was very superficial. I thought I would do anything to make it. But now looking back, I see that's not the way. There's nothing wrong with saying that. But Porsha ain't in the mood or the time or the thing to say it. Y'all, a couple of things to talk about. I think this Friday, don't hold me to it, but either this Friday or before next Friday, I'm going to have a special members only live. Remember that expose I said I had? I'm almost done with it. Y'all know I'm slow like my molasses. But between being on vacation and shut up, my BFF, when I was like, yo, I'm on vacation, my BFF was like, you shut up, you're permanently on vacation. But between being on vacation, cranking out quality content, shut up, y'all in the back. I know when I said quality content, y'all was like, quality content? Who's cranking out quality content? You, Tisa? Really? But literally, I think I'm going to have a special members only live before the Friday members only live, because the special is almost done. I'm going to preview that to you guys first, so we can talk about it in like a chat or whatever. What else is going on? Oh yeah, Just D Show, T Love Palmer. Who else? YouTube channel, Judgy Justice. Make sure you give. Oh, Lily the Red Lipstick Hustler. She got a YouTube channel too. You guys, if you want to promote your YouTube channels in my chat, go ahead. It's fine. I want everybody to grow. There isn't enough market share for all of us. Those that love me, those that hate me, and those that just haven't met me. All right. Also, I want to say I did the review for the Porsha's Family Values. My reviews are so funny. Go check it out on my channel. And also, I did a panel on Layla's channel. I did that Monday. And I do the Pursuit of Porsha reviews at 10 p.m. every night after the show is over. Sometimes I go in at 9:30, but usually it's around 10 p.m. And I did a panel on Layla's channel. It was so funny. It was me, her, Grace, Up, and Adam. Listen, we bumped head, but it's always a fun, respectable time. Even Grace was repping her set. I was like, well, actually, Grace, because I was nervous to say anything to Grace because Grace is literally the GOAT, right? But we had differing opinions, but we kept it so fun and respectful. And that's what you want in a panel, don't you? You want people to have different opinions, even if we just playing devil's advocate. You want to see that. So that was really good. Next week, we are going to be on the GOAT Grace's channel. Make sure you check us out. It's Monday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be on Grace's channel this Monday coming up, and then it's going to be on my channel the next Monday. And then also I do the review on my own Sunday at 10 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, 10 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. You guys, thank you so much for the book review. Let me know if you actually want to see the chapters I skipped over, which were the chapters 7 through 9, the Cordell years. Let me know if you want me to do those chapters. If you do, I'll be happy to do it. And if you don't, we could just end it on here because y'all, I got plenty of other gossip. But y'all also make sure you watch my videos and support. I know I can't ask you guys to, but if you guys can, I would really, really appreciate it. I am trying to grow. I'm trying to bring you guys some travel videos. I'm trying to bring you guys some fun, evergreen content, some things that's just above gossip, but still really messy and really shady. Maybe even the inside stories of people that we know, but you guys might not know the back, because y'all know I keep stuff in my head forever. But let me know what type of content you would like in the comments. I'm open to anything and everything. Just let me know, okay? Because I really want to grow I have to thank you guys. I've experienced such tremendous growth. And I know it's because I'm messy, but I also think it's because we just get each other. It's like a tribe of like-minded thinkers. And even though we don't always agree, it's still like, I don't know, it's like character. Like we see like a value set of the way you should actually act in the world. And we're all on the same page. You know what I'm saying? We are not in moral, not in judgy way, but we're all on the same page of the way, like just the way we should treat each other, the way this world is. And I love the fact that like you guys see it's all in good fun. Yes, I roast. Yes, I drag. Yes, I have fun, but honestly, it's all in good fun. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Yes. Oh, who's it? Tommy Bites Homestead Prepping. Tommy Bites has a YouTube channel. Go ahead and check that out. Queen Dara said, I love Dara. She said, all chapters, please. And thank you. Yes, listen, that's what we do. You guys would like the Cordell chapters? All right, you know what? I'll take that in stride. Also, if you guys are watching this on playback, let me know if you guys want the Cordell chapters in the books. And also let me know what type of content you guys would like to see. I know you guys, some people have been asking me for a hair tutorial. If you guys want to see me here looking like a fried chicken with my hair all over the place before I oil that shit down and slick that stuff back, we can do that too. Let me know. Listen, don't say anything about Grace. Listen, Grace has been and I'm not even joking. Grace has been so kind and generous to me with her time. You guys have no idea. Grace even was one of the few YouTubers when I was literally trying to, and I know, like, whatever, but I'm gonna tell y'all about Grace. She was one of the few YouTubers when literally I was trying to get on panels and you'd be surprised when you're like, oh, do panels with this person or that person. There's a lot of people that actually do panels and they don't want to do panels with me. Now, I know that's everybody's choice. I'm not salty about that. What I'm saying is, Grace was one of the only one that had a huge platform that actually invited me to share her platform. Layla Lynn did too. Both of them were so good to me, invited me to share their platforms. Grace actually talked to me off. She mentors me. She gives me advice on how to how to do this, my thumbnails. Grace has been I actually want Grace to actually do a thing of how to start your YouTube channel, because Grace has been so good to me in the background, and I know Grace is modest and she never wants to say it. And, she's always like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And so but Grace mentors a lot of people, and I don't even know if she would count me as a mentee, but every time I have a question, every time I'm confused, Grace is always there. She's so kind. She's so encouraging. And listen, the panel that I have right now, I'm like the little kid on the block. Adam has like what 100,000 subscribers. Grace has 150. Layla has 300 and some odds. Listen, I'm like the little kid. They didn't have to invite me on that panel. You know, they really honestly didn't. They could have invited anyone, and I'm just so grateful that Grace, Layla decided to share their platforms with me. And so, you guys, again, everybody, but I'm telling you, Grace, she's been so good to me. Layla's been good to me too. But as far as I saw a message in there about Grace, and it's like I just want to give credit where credit's due about someone that, again, I can only speak about my interactions with her interactions with me, and she's been really good to me, and I really appreciate that. Right? She's been really good. Anyway, there we go. Listen, yes, I am going. Yes, Grace is great, Layla, but you would be surprised how many YouTubers are just so nice and so right. So yeah, but I just wanted to listen. I don't want everybody to get into my business and whatnot. A lot of people have helped me. I'm not going to put their names on blast. I usually don't like letting people know my bit, but I just wanted to let you know, for the person that was saying that, listen, girl power, it was good to me, right? Yeah, it was good to me, right? Listen, yeah. Yeah, I do need to put some time into my craft when these shows TV. I know that you got some people said they wanted a backdrop, but no, there's no backdrop happening right now. Who told me that when they're like, I'll rebrand when I get to 50,000. I'll rebrand and then I'll be like, hello, welcome to the house of Tisa. Maybe we can start a cult. Maybe that'll be fun, right? Maybe that will be fun. Yeah. Yeah, I am getting there. Thank you so much. Thank you, B. Beautiful spirits attract beautiful spirits. Yeah, you know what? Listen, I am growing, but I am grateful when people don't have to share their platforms with me. And they do. And I'm grateful when people help me when they don't have to help me. I mean, I'm grateful for any help I get, of course. But, just so you guys don't think there's like something going on in the background, like, it was good. It was good. Okay, you guys, listen. Listen, Portia was there looking like nothing, saying, listen. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Amari. Okay, so listen, thank you so much, you guys. Let me get off of this channel, and I will see you guys next week, same time for the book club. Let me know in the comments if you're watching playback, if you want to see it next time, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, also, what am I doing? Let me give a shout out to the ladies' first panel. They were the first person that actually shared their platform and did something with me. Not Grace, Bondi Blue, Jay Lee, Nisi Dixon. They're also gorgeous too. And Jamie is me, y'all. I used to watch their channel. I still do all the time. Let me tell you, ladies first panel. That's what I'm trying. They were the first ones to actually share their platform with me, and they didn't have to do it. And we had such a good time. But you know what? It's funny how life comes full circle, because I'm going to do something with the ladies first channel. I think it's going to be on my channel, or it might be on one of theirs, but I think it might be on my channel. We're going to do an end of season wrap for Porsha's Family Values. And what Bondi, I think Jay Lee is sitting this one out. But it's going to be me, Bondi, Nisi, and Jamie. That's me. And it's going to be so fun. So I'll put a reminder up when we get closer to the season, because nobody knows when the season's open, but that is going to be lit. Because the ladies first panel, I love Bondi, love Nisi, love JD, and love Jamie. That's me. Hey, bitch. Yes, yes. That's what we do. Listen, I can't wait to get back to the ladies first panel. Ooh, ladies first. Okay, anyway, you guys, let me get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. It's been real. Thank you so much.